Hello and welcome back to another AP3 video. In today's video, we'll be going over 2.3 of AP Government Congressional Behavior. So we're going to talk about things that facilitate or slow the process of lawmaking. So the first thing that we're going to go over is ideological divisions. It's basically liberals and conservatives representing two different ideologies or sets of principles. Now Republicans are more conservatives and Democrats are more liberals. Now, the closer one gets to either Republicans being conservatives or Democrats becoming liberals, the less their ideas about what's good for the nation overlap, which leads to harder negotiations and compromises. Now, when the bills come up, we get a policy called gridlock and partisan fighting. Basically, it impedes the process getting laws passed. Now, the best way to get work done is to have the same party as a majority in both the House and the Senate to always pass legislation aligning to their ideology without considering the ideological position of a minority party. On the opposite is opposing government. And basically opposing government is when the opposing parties hold majorities in both houses, or when the president is from one party and Congress has a majority from an opposing party, which slows things down a lot. Now we have something called lame duck president. It's basically when an elected official who's in their final period of their term. So now we're going to talk about another factor Congress get their work done is the representatives understanding their role. And we have three when it comes to this type of models for representation. So first we have the delegate model, and you see this a lot in the House. And basically it believes that they must vote with the will of the people even if it's against their judgment. And they also believe that they are there representing the people's beliefs and desires and not their own. And we have something called the trustee model. And basically, they believe that they have been entrusted with the people's faith and therefore they must be voting according to their conscience. And they can vote against the will of the people if they believe it's the right thing to do. And we have a third one called the political model. It's basically a hybrid of both the delegate and the trustee model. And it acts like a delegate when it's clear that their contestants feel strongly about an issue, and it acts like a trustee if their contestants don't feel strongly about an issue. So now we're going to talk about, and there's a lot when it comes to this information, so let's digest. So now we're going to talk about the issues of redistricting. So every 10 years, based on the information by contestants, congressional districts are redrawn reflecting the most current population numbers. Now, this can be an issue and can be even crazier when districts aren't reappropriated properly or reapportioned properly. And there's a Supreme Court case addressing this, and it's going to be Baker versus Carr of 1962. Basically, in Tennessee, the redrawing of districts wasn't done properly, and rural voters had more power than urban residents. So they basically, in the Supreme Court, they argued that the situation violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, and the Supreme Court agreed with it. And it basically led to the one person, one vote principle. And basically just redistricting had to be done in such a way that every person's vote was equally powerful, which is representing the one person, one vote principle. And there's another court case, but we'll get over that in a bit. So now we're going to talk about something called the gerrymandering. It's basically districts are drawn in such a way to benefit one party over another. And we have something called the partisan gerrymandering. And it's basically districts redrawn favoring one party. And the other court case that we're going to talk about now is Saul versus Reno. So Saul versus Reno, which was a racial gerrymandering. So basically, two North Carolina districts were drawn weird shapes to make a majority black districts. Now, North Carolina was only doing what the Justice of the Department was told them to do on account of the Voting Act Right of 1965. Basically, the court ruled that drawing districts directly based on the race was a dangerous practice that could, on other occasions, be used to disenfranchise minority voters. And basically, practice was deemed unconstitutional. And that's basically everything about 2.3. This is another AP3 video. Thank you for watching.